Hi, everybody. Jennifer here from Gals, Ghosts, and Ladies, coming at you on my typical Saturday night live stream. I know somebody's watching, but I don't know who, so let me open up my comments. I want to welcome everybody tonight. Excuse me. Remember, this is a 420 friendly space. Sorry, excuse me. Anyway, so again, everybody, welcome to Gals, Ghosts, and Ladies live stream. If you are watching on Facebook or YouTube Live, I really appreciate that. If you're watching at a later time, I appreciate that as well. There are so many podcasts and live streams and videos that I want to catch, and I don't always have time. Hi, Sandy. So if you can't watch this live, watch it later while you're putting on your makeup or you're, running, dusting or something like that. Listen in the background. This is for entertainment purposes. And I hope that you enjoy. You know us, we are all about the mysterious and the macabre. I think that we're evolving. I was kind of looking back. I've been doing this since August, and I started out being like hashtag all paranormal, never politics. I still like that idea, but things have evolved into mysterious and macabre. True crime, hauntings and true crime. My friend Kevin Thompson had told me about a mining town, Jerome, Arizona. That was one of my best episodes. So things are really evolving here at Gals. I'm not quite sure exactly where I'm going to land. But I do appreciate everybody who watches and tunes in. Hi, Laurie, my West Coast sister, my spirit sister. Thanks for tuning in. So as I said, we are evolving. I'm certainly open to suggestions and ideas. I have so many things on my research list and an episode list, so many things that I want to get to. And then something happens and I get sidetracked, like Christmas. How can you not do Krampus at Christmas? Right. So that was like an aha moment, like just the other day. Right. And I should have been thinking about that. So like I said, I'm evolving. I think that my calendar is going to tighten up a little better. I also look forward to having oh, Will and Kathy checking in. Hi, guys. Nice to see you. So we are evolving, and I appreciate you all coming along for the ride. I may have some exciting news after January 1st about my format and my platform, so please stick around. I hope to share some really exciting news with you all after the first of the year about this live stream. Let's see, bear with me. I am new to live streaming. I am new to StreamYard. I get better every week. I hope you like what I've done this week. I am my own production assistant and own set designer. I think I did something a little different this week. I've got a background with it. There's a light there, so it gives it kind of a little glow. I am talking about Krampus, and I just thought this would be a really good background for it. I had set crackling fire in the background, but it was driving me crazy. And if it was driving me crazy, it was going to drive you all crazy. So I just shut it off. Just pretend that it's a real fire. Okay, you don't need your crackling. It drove me bonkers. So let's see. If you do want to critique, please be kind. I would prefer if you DM me. Don't bash me in public. Thank you. I do try to be nice to everybody here. And I would appreciate the same courtesy. I did mention that I am my own set designer and production assistant. I'm also my own research associate. So if there's any mistakes in any of the research, I own it 100%. As I always tell you, I am not going to cite my sources on things that I say. Don't take my word for it. Look it up yourself. You all have a Google finger. But if I do talk about something here on Gals, Ghosts, and Ladies live stream, I like to think that I found it on a pretty reliable source. And the other thing is, I hope to present some type of facta obscura. I hope you walk away from this live stream with some knowledge that you didn't have beforehand about Krampus. I'll tell you what, I'm 61 years old, almost 62. I knew absolutely nothing about Krampus. Other than seeing a few pictures, but I really had no idea. So I learned a lot in the last day or so of researching it. I do want to remind everybody that this is an 18 and over space. We do talk about some things that are disturbing, and you know what I like to say, sometimes I'm pretty disturbed that we're not more disturbed by the disturbing things we talk about. And Krampus is no different. It's a little bit disturbing. This is 18 plus, and I like to swear. I'm not going to hold back on my language. I want everybody to get cozy and comfortable. Pour yourself a cup of coffee, crack a cold beer, pour a glass of wine. I have my favorite peach Gatorade mixed with water and ice. You can hear it. And I've got a blanket on my lap. I got a little heater next to me. I want you all to take a minute, get cozy and get comfortable before we talk about tonight's subject. But yeah, also keep in mind we are a 420 friendly space. Smoke them if you got them. I know I sure did. So if I lose my place, that's why. But seriously, get cozy, get comfortable. And I do have a little bit of a different setup. My notes are on a different side tonight. And you know me, I do have my notes, my pink paper, my purple pen. These things make me very, very happy. So I incorporate them here into Lizzie Lou Studio. And I want to share with you all, this is the most current incarnation. This was taken today of Lizzie Lou Studio. The only thing missing in that picture is the colored microphone. What you see there, that's what I'm looking at, that computer, and there's a little camera over the computer. I'm pointing at that right now, and there's a little light, and then my live on air thing, and so on and so forth. And then what you see here is literally the wall behind me, and it's a thing that I taped up on the wall, my Temu backdrops, which I love because they really, I'm ordering them to kind of suit the mood. Like Will and Kathy, when I do the Haunted Situate lighthouse, wait till you see the backdrop I got for that. And I think it really adds an ambiance to it. I really do. But I also, if you look a little further outside of my little kind of world here, like I'm kind of inside this cabin or whatever in the woods. If you look to the outside, it's kind of the woods. And if you look right here, I think it's on this side, you might catch a glimpse of Krampus. Thank you, Mark Ramponi. If I didn't say so before, I will say so now. Tonight's subject matter was definitely inspired by Mark Ramponi, Krampus. But I'm glad you like the new backdrops. Thank you very much. And I did try to get creative. Like I said, you're going to get a glimpse. I think it's on this side. And if not, then it's going to be on this side. I think it's over here. Krampus is going to kind of come in and out. And I did that. And it's pretty rudimentary. Like I said, my graphics are pretty rudimentary. But I sure had fun doing this. I added all kind of those sparkles to it and stuff like that. So I do hope you enjoy it. I really loved this background. I really loved it. Originally, I bought this background because I want to read The Monkey's Paw. The Monkey's Paw. Hi, Carrie at Previously Possessed Painted Furniture. And Michelle, hello. And Michelle, shout out to Michelle. I am live from Lizzie Lou Studio. And if you follow me, you do know that Lizzie Lou Studio is a combination of Michelle's middle name and my middle name, Elizabeth and Louise. And I do live stream because I did a live stream for Michelle and I felt in love doing it. I did it on Michelle's father, my Uncle Tommy. And I absolutely fell in love with live streaming. So I do this because of Michelle. So thank you, Michelle. And so I am going to turn that off now, but that is where we are. We are live from Lizzie Lou Studio, and I did show you a picture of that. I went through a couple of the housekeeping stuff. Again, thank everybody for watching. If you're watching now live, and thank you for watching at a later time. And again, I really appreciate the comments on the background, and I will try to interact with folks as we go along. Forgive me if I'm not able to interact with every comment. I do hope that you will go back and watch some of my other episodes if you haven't seen them before. They're all available on YouTube. On Facebook deletes them after 30 days. Okay, I just can't be bothered to download them on Facebook and blah, blah, because YouTube will hold them forever. So definitely check them out on YouTube. But go back and watch. Shut my heater off. Go back and watch some old episodes. I am working on a Jeopardy formatted style game show that may have some trivia on some stuff that we've talked about in the past. One of my favorites was the Pied Piper, and oddly, I found some really interesting parallels between Krampus and the Pied Piper that I may visit in the future. I'm not going to really talk about them tonight, but it was interesting. And watch the episode on Fall River. I uncovered some. It started out as an episode on Lizzie Borden, and I uncovered a mind-blowing piece of information, and that just might show up in a Jeopardy style game show where I'm giving away prizes. So go back and watch some of them. Some of these are definitely my favorites. The Gospel Hotel with Kristen. She was my first interview. We had a little technical difficulty, but the week before I interviewed Kristen about her property, I had done a history of the property. And Sandy, yeah, Krampus is from Germany. Hold that thought. Oh, hi, Sybil. But Sandy, hold that thought. I'm going to get into Krampus in just a second. But also go back and watch my one on folk horror, because again, you just might see these things in a Jeopardy style format, and let's have some fun. So Sandy, I'm not giving away any prizes tonight, but if I were, I would be ringing the bell and you would be winning. So Sandy, you're a winner in my book. Sandy is really nailing it. So I'm going to go ahead and start talking about Krampus. And again, anything that you see here, don't take my word for it. Look it up yourself. So, all right. So before before we talk about Krampus, I kind of want to talk about Dark Winter Nights. And Mark, I do hope that you are still listening. I want to talk about Dark Winter Nights because things like these kinds of folklore stories take place in the dark of winter. It's the solstice. We've had the longest night of the year. Most of us live in pretty, I don't know, fairly urban. I mean, I live in the suburbs, but I'm 8 miles from downtown Boston. There's some type of light pollution everywhere. Everywhere. And Mark, the reason why I'm bringing you up is because I know where you like to camp in the White Mountains, off the Kankanagas Highway, way up. I know I'm not giving away any secret spots by saying that, but darkness. You know what a long winter night is. We don't. We have streetlights, and even if you don't have streetlights, you have light pollution. And I don't know, when you live on the East Coast, there's always this, and even Stephen King references it, there's always this far off light in the East that nobody really quite knows exactly what it is. We're really never in the dark. Very, very rarely are we in the dark. Complete darkness. And I mean, Mark, you know how beautiful the sky is, and up in like North Conway, New Hampshire, you can see stars that here we had no idea we had, because they're just so. Light pollution is one of those things that you don't know you have it until it's gone, when it's not there. So anyways, Krampus is one of those tales for those long, very dark winter nights that really are kind of foreign to us, because we always have some kind of light source. So I think you kind of have to imagine the time. We're going back to the 16th century. So definitely no electricity. 16th century Austria, ding, 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 yes to Sandy and Mark. Yeah, the stars when there's no light pollution. I mean, I live near Boston. I look up in the sky and I can definitely see stars. But I know that when I'm in the White Mountains in New Hampshire, there's so many more stars. I was like, wow, I could not believe it. I could not believe it. It's crazy. But anyways, back in the 16th century, 1850 to be exact, is where Krampus first showed up in folklore of southern Bavaria in the Alps. So you are talking about harsh, cold, long, dark. I can't stress to you, dark winter nights and the wind. I mean, they didn't have insulation. They didn't have Pink Panther insulation the way we do now, and they didn't have Harvey windows. I have Harvey windows, thank goodness. Um, God, and Boston is windier than Chicago, the windy city. Imagine what the Alps would have been. So these would have been long, cold, windy winter nights. So this is when Krampus first appears. On those in that very, very dark period. Um, Krampus started as the name Krampen, which is German for claws, not Santa Claus, not that claws, claws. Long, rip your clothes claws. And his appearance, dark fur, half goat, half demon. Long horns that twirl and curl coming out of his head. Did I mention the claws? Sybil sounds like her apartment, windy and drafty. Long fangs dripping in spittle, glowing bloodshot eyes, and a long lolling tongue. Oh my God, the lolling tongue, jeez. The hell is he doing? He's got that long, lolling tongue. Very, very creepy looking, and he's got many mythological counterparts. He's got in Celtic or pagan, Cernunnos would be this type of kind of half demon, wild, raucous, vital. And when I say vital, I don't mean important. Vital as in vitality, very full of life and larger than life. And again, raucous, mischievous, troublemaking, scheming, and very scary by appearance and very scary by nature. Yeah, so in Celtic or pagan Cernunnos, I'm mispronouncing it. In Egyptian, he would be the equivalent of the god Amun. In Norse, the goddess Hel, Hel, and my personal favorite, Krampus is said to kind of be the equivalent of Pan, who was the Greek, kind of the Greek formation of what we kind of envision as the devil, kind of that half goat, weird character, and Pan and his magic flute. And again, there's kind of that weird connection to the Pied Piper. I've got to really look into that some more. But Krampus, throughout, like so many other things throughout history, it's not just like just one thing right there. It's happened in different folklore. There's been this type of character. He is a punisher of bad children. He carries chains. He carries a sack or a basket to carry bad children away. He carries them to hell, or he carries them down to the river to drown them. He'll beat a bad child with a birch switch. There was an old comedian. He's disgraced now, so I won't mention his name, but it was so funny. He said when he was a kid and his father used to say, "Go outside and get me something to beat you with." And he would find the lightest, easiest thing that he could, twig that he could, and bring it back in for his father to beat him with. But anyways, Krampus beat bad children with a birch switch. Drowns bad children. He leads them to the water and then drowns them. Or he'll eat them. He'll tear them up with his claws and his fangs. Pretty kind of creepy character. I think this background really sets the tone for that, don't you? Just a really, really creepy character. There were so we were talking about those dark, long, dark nights, and you would say to the children, "You better get in that bed before Krampus gets you." before that big horned scary thing gets you, before the boogeyman gets you, before the devil gets you. So there's always been that kind of incarnation, but used as certainly used as a means of control for children. That's for damn sure. Um, because if you misbehave, he was gonna carry you to hell in his sack. And I don't think you were gonna go to hell in a handbasket and enjoy the ride, as the song by the Grateful Dead goes. Um, or he was gonna drown you. And then there were some myths that say that he would show up at your house, the house of children, and you had to entertain him. The children had to entertain him, and if they did a good job, they were fine. If they didn't do a good job, then they were punished. That was just kind of one incarnation. So, and Krampus shows up on Krampusnacht. I wish Kent Wisterbarth were here, because he's German and he could help with the pronunciation. So Krampusnacht is literally German for there must have been some really bad kids to scare them. Yeah, Sybil, yeah. Yeah, I would imagine so. But Krampusnacht literally translated means Krampus night, the night that Krampus comes. And it would be the winter solstice. It would be the longest, darkest night of the year if you misbehave. So instead of, if you're a good little boy or girl, St. Nicholas will come or Santa Claus will come. Well, back then it would have been, it's going to be St. Nicholas. Stay tuned, because we're going to see how they ended up pairing up. But it was like, if you do not behave, Krampus is going to come on the solstice, and you're going to be punished. You're going to be whipped. You're going to be, something really bad's going to happen. Man, it's like the dire wolf. I wouldn't want this guy showing up at my door. Dire wolf, 600 pounds of sin, grinning at my window. All I said was, come on in. Don't murder me. I beg of you, don't murder me. If anybody knows Dire Wolf, that's twice I'm quoting the Grateful Dead. I think Dire Wolf is a kind of a good kind of comparison to Krampus. Um, the mythical dire wolf, not the animal, the dire wolf. Anyways, so I kind of digress. But so that was in the 16th century. He first appeared to kind of keep kids in line, and then, as usual, like so many of these stories go, along came the Christians in the 17th century. Okay, so along come the Christians. And I make no judgments. I love Christians. I love everybody. Okay, but the Christians were really big on like trying to convert everybody, and they didn't like paganism. So what they did, like they've done with so many, like they did with Christmas, um, uh, they paired Saint Nicholas with Krampus. So now you've got two things. You've got St. Nicholas bringing the good toys to the good boys and girls, and you've got Krampus being the opposite. So Krampus was scooped up, so to speak, by the Christians and utilized, and he would come the night after Krampusnacht. That's really a lot of fun to say, but Krampus would come a night later, for the bad boys and girls. And again, I mean, it's religion and a means of control. Good boys and girls will get this, bad boys and girls will get punished. Um, like any religion, it is a means of control. But they paired it together to happen around the solstice, and then in the 18th, let's see, and then I'm not, let's see, and then what happened? And then what happened? And then where did Krampus go? Because he kind of like fell off the radar. Where did he go? Krampus was basically canceled by the Roman Catholic Church. It was canceled by the Roman Catholic Church. They said no more. So Krampus had been around for a long time, part of somebody's history and folklore and heritage. And the Catholic Church, who utilized him, said, no more, he's too bad. He's creates too much mischief. He's too wild. He's a troublemaker. He's a merrymaker. Remember, if anybody watched my Christmas episode, merrymaking was not always a good thing. It was associated with drinking, and drinking in certain time periods was not a good thing. And eventually the Christians made him demonic. So let me show you some of these crazy depictions of him. Look at this. You've got that lolling tongue. There's the chains. The kids don't look happy. He's got a basket on his back, but it's got toys. He's definitely carrying some switches. Let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, this one doesn't, yikes. This is a scary looking dude, man. This one in particular, I wish I could have found a source to this. I'm going to have to look further. Kelly, if you have a chance to tune in, find out where this came from. This one really freaked me out. This is Krampus. This is supposedly Krampus bringing the babies from Spain. So I mean, look at bad babies. Come on. So it's one thing to be a kid and misbehave, but what do? Threaten a 6-month-old? No, I don't think so. So pretty creepy stuff, huh? So I'd love to know the origin of that picture. It did say Spain, but like I said, I'd like to know a little bit more. My little thing is falling down, and I'm sorry about that. There we go. Anyways, so the Roman Catholic Church canceled Krampus. Final, over. Roman Catholic Church said so, no more. So Krampus disappeared for a while. And then what happened? Does anybody have any idea how he came back? No, because who would even guess, right? So in the early 2000s, these pictures that I showed you, these are postcards. Some of these are like this, from the 1800s. Here's kind of a 4-pack, not the best quality graphic, but you kind of get the hint. Well, what happened in the early 2000s was there was a discovery of like a cache of these 19th century Krampus postcards. Got another one here. This one, he's carrying the child away, and he's got a switch, and he's got chains, and he's threatening the other kids. So there was a discovery of those postcards. And the person who discovered them, I think his last name was Beauchamp, I think, he started sharing them online, and they went viral. They went completely viral. People went cuckoo for Krampus. They went completely viral, and people absolutely loved them. And it was really the first time that where the wild things are, Michelle. That's right. Oh, right, where the wild things are. Let's put that away. But yeah, so that's how Krampus kind of went viral outside of the Alps and worked his way into pop culture. Who doesn't love vintage postcards? And anybody who goes to Salem, I think Will and Kathy, I know you guys love vintage postcards. So this would kind of be definitely like collector's items now. But the internet, the advent of the internet is what brought Krampus, cuckoo for Krampus. Yep, that's that's your family, Mark. That's why you inspired this episode. But again, it was the internet that brought this forward. And then you had the movie Krampus in 2015, which this reporter has not seen. I'm sure somebody in the audience has. I'm sure Mark has seen it. Mark probably owns a copy of it. But I personally have not seen it. But it is on my list of things to watch. But another reason why Krampus became popular is because there's really a kind of a paranormal like counterculture right now. That's certainly been popularized by the internet, that's for sure. And all these ghost hunting shows and all kinds of stuff. This is driving me crazy. Bear with me. Let me fix that. There we go. So I got a little bit of a. There we go. Thank you. That was driving me bonkers. And there's my little ghost peeking over. Um, Anyways, so we have a counterculture going on, like paranormal investigating and ghost hunting and that kind of thing. And Krampus definitely fits that alternative thinking, the kind of that goth, that folk horror. That folk horror. Here's that theme again. I did a whole episode on folk horror on Thanksgiving. Go back and watch it, about how the old ways may be right and sacrifices just might be the really a way to appease the gods. So this kind of fits into that. So Krampus really offered an alternative to Christianity. It offered an insight into kind of a mischievous devil kind of a thing. And people really enjoy embracing the dark side. And Krampus is the dark side. I think that he initially, in my estimation, from when he was in the Alps, he wasn't so much evil as he was a keeper of I don't know, making sure people did the right thing. But he was also a partier, a wild man, that kind of thing. And I like that aspect of him. I really do. So that kind of that dark side. So now we have Krampus parades and we have Krampus festivals, and they are what? They are raucous and they are fun and they are mischievous. Hopefully nobody's getting punished. I don't think so. I think we're beyond that now. We are, but we are. What was that line in The Wicker Man? You're a heathen. A heathen, a pagan can. No, you're a pagan, a heathen conceivably, but not, I hope, an unenlightened one. I think that we are more enlightened to Christian alternatives in this day and age. We are more enlightened to mainstream religion alternatives in this day and age. We're more enlightened to pagan rituals, and we're more enlightened to that. Because I'm a pagan, we're all a pagan. Wouldn't you like to be a pagan too? And if you follow organized religion, there's pagan roots in there somewhere. But we're more enlightened, we're more open-minded that there might be paranormal, other realms, other dimensions, to think that there might be something literally alternative happening right next to me. You never know. I mean, radio waves and microwaves and things that we don't see, and television waves, and we're just more enlightened to so many things. And we're more open-minded to other possibilities. Like I always say, do I believe? I've been presented with some stuff here. Do I believe? Absolutely, absolutely not. No. But am I open-minded to the possibilities? Oh, hell yeah, hell yeah. Who knows? You have to take these kind of folklore stories and wonder what was really the origin. That's where I'd really have to do a deep dive. Okay, so we say, all right, he showed up in 1850 in literature in the Alps, but in what context? And why? And what happened? Like with the Pied Piper, something happened. The Pied Piper, I don't know how he ended up in the story. Nobody really knows. But the reality is 130 children disappeared in one afternoon in Hamelin, Germany. Interesting. This takes place kind of almost in that same area. Well, the Alps, and this is German. And that area, from what I found in my research when I did the Pied Piper, that area was settled by the English, the Scottish, the Welts, the Celts, the pagans. They migrated to that kind of Bavarian and Germanic from my old Latin class um, area, and brought those pagan beliefs and rituals with them, and those solstice rituals and the Krampus rituals and the May Day rituals and all those things. And so many of them were I don't want to say stolen, but borrowed and utilized by the Christian religion. We were talking the other night about Christmas. Jesus Christ wasn't born on December 25th. He was either born in the spring or the fall. And my friend Kelly says April. All right, I'm good with that. But he wasn't born in December. But the Christians decided to pair it with the solstice, a time of merrymaking and renewal, and Merry Christmas is not a good thing. Oh my God, all these live streams are starting to tie in together. If anybody watches my stuff, all these things are just, it's like, oh my God, wow, that's a big tie-in. So, anyways, like I was saying, we're just so enlightened to all these other possibilities, and for me, the internet is an endless source of information. As you know, you got to have good sources, but you can find what you're looking for there. You really can, and so we're more aware of these things. And I just think it's funny that it's just one of those things that that Christians kind of hijacked and then banned it, we want this and then we don't want this. Oh, hi, Juniper. So many borrowed traditions. It's crazy. Things like the Christmas tree. Like I said, putting Christmas at the solstice when Jesus was actually born in spring or fall. And how do we know this? Because the shepherds were in the fields, and that's when the shepherds were in the fields at that time. Go back and watch the Christmas trivia episode that we did on Christmas night. We had so much fun and we learned so much cool stuff. So and that's really what I have on Krampus. So I hope you all enjoyed that information on Krampus. I've got to show some of these graphics again. I think they were kind of crazy, a little weird, a lot weird. But it was the discovery of these postcards that that brought Krampus into that. Juniper, definitely go back. I was saying, go to everybody, go back and watch my other episodes, because I am putting together a Jeopardy style game show that one of these Saturday nights, that's what we are going to do. And I'll definitely be giving away some prizes. Some of you received Gal's gift bags. Some of you received some skeleton Christmas cards. I've got all kinds of swag and goodies to give away. And Michelle, my cousin Michelle, and I are working on a coffee cup. So coming your way, coffee cup. I'm also working on getting some t-shirts. If you're interested, I do hope that you would love to get some swag. And some of you out there, I know, some of you do have t-shirts, and definitely wear them out, show them off, show that you're a gal. So I guess that I'm going to get ready to sign off for the night. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. Thank you for watching Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Thank you for watching at a later time. Please go back and watch my other live streams. Like I said, Christmas trivia was a blast. Thanksgiving, we did folk horror. The Pied Piper, mind-blowing information. Who knew the true stuff there? Juniper, and I wear mine all the time as well. So, and so Laurie and Michelle and Juniper and Mark and Sybil and Sandy and everybody who Will and Kathy and everybody who tuned in tonight. Thank you so much. I had so much fun learning about Krampus. And I hope you all learned something too. And I hope y'all enjoyed my background. I really loved it. Drop a comment about what you think. Mark said he liked it. I hope y'all do too. Sorry about my microphone falling apart here. Like I said, I am my own production assistant. So I am going to sign off, and I'll be posting over the next couple of days about what my schedule is going to be. So I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. It really means a lot to me, and it does help me get seen. Thank you all very, very much, and take it easy. I'll talk to you all after the new year. Bye-bye, everybody.